Hi everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? It is Thursday, July 16th, 2015. People, the world has just witnessed an event which is actually beyond belief. And very few people are even batting an eye about it. Not one politician has spoke out against it, yet it is probably one of the biggest events to have occurred um, maybe in our lifetime. What am I referring to specifically? A coup has occurred in Greece. Listen to this. A coup has occurred in Greece. Specifically, this is what has unfolded. We all understand that there is a debt crisis involving Greece. It's been going on for quite a while. But what the banks have done, and I covered this recently in a video and in an article on Seeking Out, for where I called this financial terrorism. It has now gone beyond that. Last night, the Greek parliament voted in favor of a third bailout, a bailout which will not work. That's number one. I'll talk about that a little bit down the line here. But they're also forcing asset sales, public things, harsh austerity on the people, and they have no choice. Understand, how did this coup occur? The banks, the banks took over the monetary exchange system. Okay, they run the monetary exchange system so they can do whatever they want. They denied people access to cash in their accounts. Moreover, liquid businesses that had cash on hand to transact, they didn't allow that to happen either. So what was the result? It brought the entire country and their citizens to their knees without firing a shot. If you were watching any, pretty much, of the mainstream media channels last night, you saw what was occurring. There was rioting in the streets, cars lit on fire, Molotov cocktails. And what happened as a result of that? Police were called in, military was called in to quell it. Again, what would have been the next step here? Martial law. Do you have any doubt? Of course, it still might happen. Again, these riots are still occurring over there. And what are they talking about on the mainstream? Nonsensical issues to keep you distracted. Look, could you imagine if one of our politicians, one from anywhere in the world, were to speak out against what is happening, the oppression of the Greek people, not being allowed access to cash that some of them have worked for their entire lives, businesses that have been brought to their knees because they're not allowed to transact as well? If this is not a coup, I don't know what is, people. Again, what would have been the difference if the military rolled in tanks and armed soldiers? They did not allow people access to the banks, because that was the next step. The military would have been called in and blocked off access to these banks. What does that tell you? The military, all of them, including here in the United States, is the enforcement arm of the banks. People don't know another way to put this. If you believe that this world is run by presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, or dictators, you're the one that is deluded and has no clue as to what is going on after what we just witnessed here in Greece. A bank-run coup. They took over the entire country and they demanded that they take more debt on. You cannot solve a debt crisis by adding more debt to it. It's that simple. If that makes sense to you, that you can't solve a debt problem by adding more debt to it, well, congratulations. You have a brain which functions. It's incredible how many people are out there and didn't see this. They don't see this for what it is. A bank takeover of the citizens of a country and the entire country itself. The issue is much, much greater than this here, people. Every single developed nation on earth has the same debt-based financial system run by the banks. Run by the banks. And they will, what we've seen here in Greece, will be done to any other nation. This was, again, some kind of a charade in many ways, very, very sad, being played on an entire country, and no one bats an eye about it. No one says, hey, what's going on here? What's really going on here? Again, it's a distraction mechanism by the mainstream. People are incapable of understanding very basic concepts with regard to the monetary system. So what I have done earlier today, about an hour or two ago, I wrote an article, it's very short, on Seeking Alpha, which will outline to you in one page how the monetary system works. And once you read that article, you'll understand what you have to look forward to, what the Greek people are witnessing right now here. And it is epic, people. The banks run the world, period. They will bring you and an entire country to its knees by restricting your access to your money, by restricting your access of exchange. They will allow you to starve to death, and they will incite riots and whatever they need to do to establish dominion. You understand? This is what is occurring right now. An entire country has now been taken over by the banks, and no one out there is batting an eye. No one out there is really putting perspective onto what is occurring, and not one politician has spoken out against this. Again, what do? They cloak it. They cloak it under things. Oh, it's just capital controls. Capital controls. Why do we need capital controls? Because the banks are insolvent. The banking system, again, it's debt-based. They're insolvent. You understand? If they were not insolvent, people would have access to all the cash that they think that they have in their accounts. Understand, people. Look, before I go on even further with this, because really, I am so infuriated by what I'm witnessing right now and the fact that very few people are speaking out against this. I'm going to stop this video, but I want you to read this article. I can't stress to you how important it is. It'll cover some of the things I've covered here. It will outline how the monetary system works in one page. I'm going to urge you to read that article and share it with as many people as you can, so they can maybe get a handle on what is actually occurring over in Greece and what is going to happen to them because of the system, the malignant system itself, and how banks truly do run the world. There is no doubt about it. Absolutely none. If you think this video has been important or informative, please give me a thumbs up here. Get this out there. I don't know another way to put this, people, but really, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what's occurring here. And my heart goes out to the people of Greece, and I'm telling you, the world is going to become Greece at one particular time, because it's the mechanism of the system that demands that debt be borrowed into existence or created out of thin air in perpetuity, and it cannot ever stop. It cannot ever stop. Once we stop, we have a debt crisis. You understand? And how do they try to fix that debt crisis? By adding more debt to it. That's why this third bailout will not work. All it will do is create more hardship for the people. The banks will confiscate assets from these people. You remember Cyprus back in 2013? What did they do to those people? They took their bank accounts. It was called a bail-in. Remember that? People forget. Cyprus was the canary in the coal mine over in Europe. Now we have Greece. What's next? Well, maybe you can speculate about it. And I really want you to comment here. I'm going to read these comments as well, and comment on that article that I wrote on Seeking Alpha, for which there are links in the description of this video and the comment section. People, please get this out there. I'm calling on all of you. We've done it before. We can do this again. Let your voice be heard. Let this be a platform for you. Let your voice be heard now, please. With that said, I will see you all soon. Over now.